Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm trying to get you straight over here. Good morning. What's today? Today is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. Welcome. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? Hope you're ready to get this morning started. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. I don't know why I'm in the sing song today, but I am. Welcome. I hope you enjoyed the show yesterday. Please make sure you share it. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to YouTube where they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the show yesterday. I know I did. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. We talked about miracles, and that was the fun part. That was the fun part. So let's get right into the quote of the day. Let me pull it up here. Let's get right into the quote and the thought of the day and get this thing started. Good morning. Good morning. If this is your first time joining the Fearless Morning Show, welcome. I'm so glad y'all here. Like, you could have been anywhere doing anything else, but you decided to share your morning with me. So thank you. Good morning, Miss Joe. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning. Girl, yesterday's show was really good. And sometimes I think, oh, that's a good show. But there's very few that I say, I like that one. I did. I enjoyed that. So if you missed yesterday's show, go back and check it out and make sure you listen to it. Please make sure you share the show, because I can't do this by myself. I need y'all's help and your support, just like any other sister does. So please make sure you share the show with your friends. Even if they don't have Facebook or YouTube, please make sure that we are sharing, educating, and helping somebody else. All right, let's get right into the quote of the day, because I came up with something today. Last night. I came up with it last night. Here's the quote of the day. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking, because her trust is not on the branch, but on its own wings. Always believe in yourself. I think that's the African proverb. Don't know whose quote it is. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking, because her trust is not on the branch, but on its own wings. Always believe in yourself. So in any circumstances, you should always bet on black. Now, I just had to say that out the movie. If y'all don't know anything about me, when I say certain phrases and it reminds me of a movie, I am then required to reference the movie or said song and sing said song. So y'all, I'm sorry. But that means you should always be confident in your ability, no matter your circumstances, that you are the one who has the ability to change your direction, to change your environment, to simply fly away, to simply remove yourself from whatever it is. So a bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking. They're not scared of that, because they trust themselves to know that they can make the right decision and simply fly away. That's my interpretation of the proverb. Please make your own. A bird sitting in a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking, because her trust is not on the branch, but on its own wings. Always believe in yourself. I like that. So that is the quote of the day. Let's get right down to the fearless thought of the day. It's 5. So the fearless thought of the day is focus. Because that's what it's going to take. Focus is required in all things. Whether you know it or not, it takes focus. Y'all. And I'm 1000% guilty of this. It takes focus not to accomplish anything. It takes focus to stay where you are. Like I say all the time, it takes a lot of work to stay with less than. That's a lot of work. And it takes focus for you to stay where you are. It takes a lot of focus for you to get up and do the same thing every day and not require more of yourself. That takes focus. So you can't tell me, JoJo, I'm not good at anything. I can't focus on that. My nerves bad. I can't do this. But yet you insist on doing it every day. It's what's important to you. It's what you focus on. It's what is essential to your well-being is what you focus on. And so for some people, and let's just be clear, let's even a playing field right now. Some would rather complain and say what they don't have and focus on that than focus on what they do have and what they could do. Because it may all require focus and some work, but they rather focus and complain and not work than focus and work. Some people are exactly where they are because that's where they want to be. Some people are exactly where they are because that's where they want to be. Period. And there is nothing anybody will be able to say to them that they want to change their mind. So when I encounter those people or said person, and please understand it doesn't make me any better, any less than, okay? It just simply means I am looking or requiring something different than what they are requiring. We all have the same everything. So it's not, oh, what they got, focus, effort. So today we want to talk about focus. Because it takes focus to stay where you are. It's going to take focus to get where you want to be. It's going to take focus to accomplish getting up and waking up and going to a job. Just doing the bare basics take focus. So what does focus mean in JoJo's world? So I am the only, if this is your first time joining, I am the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? And this is what focus looks like to the only Live Past Crazy specialist. And these are my acronyms. So if you use them, please make sure that you give proper credit. I greatly appreciate that. Now, focus. There's 5 parts to focus. I'm going to tell them and then we're going to go through them. Your foundation, how you operate, how you cultivate, how you understand, and how you stand. Those are the 5 parts of focus. Foundation, operation, cultivate, understand, and stand. Those are the 5 parts of focus. And then we're going to break them down real fast because we're not fixing to be long today. So if we're focusing on things, the first part of focus is our foundation, right? If I'm focusing on things and the F stands for foundation, but I'm focusing on complaining, what is my foundation? Just that. So if you want to change your focus on anything that you are deciding that you want to do and or achieve, okay? Because you not saying nothing is you saying something. You not making a decision is you making a decision, okay? So focus. F stands for foundation. What are you really saying? What are you really standing on? When you say, when you look around, you're like, I hate where I live. I hate this job. I don't even like this house. I don't even like the people in this house. Or I don't like this job. Or I don't like this. But your focus is on you staying in said place that you do not like. What is your foundation? What is the foundation you're building inside of your focus? So, what is your foundation? The second one is operative, operated, operation, whichever word of that version you want to use. Now that you know what your foundation is, you're going to continue operating in it. So if you are a complainer, then you're going to continue to operate as a complainer. You don't know any different. You don't know any other way. And this is where knowledge learned and knowledge applied comes into play. Because you can know a thing, but if you have not applied the thing, then you know in vain, right? What's the use of having the knowledge and you're not going to apply it? So you have your foundation, and it could have been a great foundation, but you chose to swap it out for something else. And now you're operating in something that doesn't serve you, right? So and we're going to use complainers because y'all know how I feel about that. So if my foundation is complaining and I'm operating as a complainer, because that takes work. It takes every step of focus takes focus. Every step is going to require work. It takes work for you to set up your foundation. Remember, I talked about that dream I had. Y'all, my shoulder hurt so bad Sunday. Remember I told y'all about that dream where I was planting stuff, the seed. No, that was the next dream. Hold on, got my dreams. I had another dream. Shoulder was hurting. But we talked about the seed and digging deep. It all requires work. Now, are you digging and seeding up your complaining? How about your powerlessness? How about your not knowingness? And sometimes we use not knowing as an excuse not to do. We use not knowing as an excuse not to operate correctly. We use not knowing as an excuse on not to operate correctly. Only kids get to do that. Only a child who is growing up and learning gets to use not knowing. Because as an adult, I can say I don't know, and then I can go and find out because I have the capabilities. So when you say you don't know, you simply don't want to. Here's nerd science for you. And please Google it. I had somebody say, Jojo, where you really get this stuff from? Y'all, don't question my nerdness. Y'all see that new sign? It says nerd. I painted that. Isn't that cute? Brain science. Every time you say, I don't know, your mind stops working. As soon as you say, I don't know where that is, your brain stops working. And this is what happens. And you've seen your kids do it. Rosie, go in that room and get that book off the counter. What book? The red book. Your kid go right in there, Mama, I don't see that book. And then they come out, I don't see the book, and what do you tell them? I bet if I get up and I go find that book, it's going to be your behind. And what do? They go in there and they find the red book on the dresser exactly where it was. So when you say, I don't know, your brain hides what you say you don't know. This is how powerful your mind is. That's why I don't understand why we are convinced that we are powerless. So when you say, I don't know, your brain hides the thing that you just said you don't know. If you say, I don't know how to start a business, your brain hides all the information that you need to start a business. Because your brain wants to keep you safe. It wants to give you everything that you need to survive. And you just said you didn't need that. So it's hiding all of that from you. So every time you say, I don't know, your brain hides all of that from you. And as soon as you say, wait a minute, I do know, let me focus and figure this out. Then what happens? The answers come. Please Google that. Nerd Science 101. What happens to your brain when you say, I don't know? And the minute you switch your thinking to, let me focus, let me find this answer. Do you not find the answer? Another example, have you ever been going somewhere and got lost and turned the radio down so you could listen? You're giving the list. And so you turn it down. You're like, I know. Because you say, I don't know where I'm going. And you drive past that street 10 times. And then you turn the radio down so that you tending to? What am I tending to? What am I nurturing and growing up? So if my focus is foundation and operation, and cultivating is what you are tending to and what are you paying attention to. So if my foundation is complaining, I'm operating and complaining. What am I cultivating? Complaining. So you are nurturing that complaining part of yourself, or you are nurturing your less than life, or you are nurturing all the things that don't serve you. And you wonder why you're tired and exhausted. Because your focus is on something else. And you are bound and determined to cultivate this thing. And you're wondering, like, why is this not growing? Because it was never meant to. But you keep cultivating, operating in it, making sure your foundation is set in it, and it's not working. So what are you cultivating? What are you paying attention to? What are you pruning? What are you shaping up? What are you watering? What are you making sure gets enough sun and enough shade? What are you cultivating in your life that, remember we talked about those life statements? What are you cultivating so it is now your life statement? Then you go to number 4, which is understand. When you focus on something, I want you to understand what you're doing, where you are in this journey, and why this journey looks like this. Because if your foundation, because some of us, we can look around and be like, I don't even know why I'm here. I have no idea why I'm here. And I don't know. And we are confounded, like in a quandrum, like, why am I here? I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. And we're always thinking, why am I here? I don't understand how this happened. How many times have I said that? I don't understand why this is going on. What was my focus? What was I focused on? So you got to understand where you are. And this is the work part of focus. Ain't nobody trying to get to. Especially if you got to check yourself. Because on the 5-day self-care is gangster, we talked about that. Ego, I think was one of the things. But I always talk about ego. Your ego can truly keep you where you are because you insist on holding on to a story that no longer serves you, but you like the outcome of the story. So understand where you are. So focus, foundation, operation, cultivate, understand where you are. And that you are where you are because that's what you're focused on. If I was going to stay living in a shelter, I was going to focus on living in a shelter. And if I was going to focus on getting another job, I needed to focus on getting another job. Or I could continue with my foundation of complaining, I don't have enough money. I can continue operating with, I have less than I have lack. I could cultivate that feeling, that thought, that environment, and not understand why I'm there. See, I'm a firm believer. If you're going to live in lack and less than, you need to understand that you're there on purpose. And you can say the Bible verse, the poor shall do this, and the meek, but it gave them all something. It didn't leave them with nothing. You have it, but you don't have it because you don't want it. So I want us to be very clear and understand that part. You don't have it because you don't want it. It ain't that it's not because it's not there. Yes, it's going to require work. And we talked about we're all millionaires yesterday, and I'm trying to make millionaires, multi, 2 M's. You're not there because the quote yesterday, I've learned never to close my mind to any idea simply because it's miraculous. You don't believe in your own miracle of you. That's what I want you to understand and focus today. That you do not believe and understand the own miracle of you. That's why your focus is where it is. That's why you can live in the same place and hate it. That's why you can date the same person over and over and over again and wonder why it's not working. That's why you can do the same job with different titles over and wonder why it's not. It's because you don't believe that you are it. And you're not willing to understand that part. I promise you, on this journey, if you begin, and we're not doing day ones, one day we're doing day one. So if today is your day one, welcome to your journey. But please understand, along this journey, you are going to have to get to that understanding part and responsibility part, right? So I've got to get to the responsibility part. Good morning, Miss Ashley Marie. How you doing? Ashley Marie, you have a name that I have to say all together. Do some people call you Ashley? You know, you have those names, some of those names you got to say together. Like people say JoJo Waddell together. I'm never JoJo or Waddell. So Ashley Marie, good morning. So I want you to understand where you are and that you are there for a reason and for a purpose. And you are the one focusing on that. So focus, 5 parts: foundation, operation, cultivating, understanding. What are you focusing on? Complaining? You operating in less than? You are growing the devil out of that. You are cultivating your less than, your powerlessness so much. You have shaped it. Remember we talked about the cage of crazy? This is where you're cultivating it. You have decorated your cage of crazy, honey. And you got designer name brands all on everything that you're cultivating. So what are you growing and shaping in your life? And then I want you to understand that if you have lack, if you assume that you are powerless, and if like yesterday you refuse to understand that you are the miracle and that you are miraculous, you need to I want there to be no illusion, no false news, no miscommunication about why you're here. So in the focus part of, in the understanding part of focus is, you're there for a reason. And that's simply because you want to be. Now, should you choose, because we're doing day ones and not one day to start your journey, then you got to understand and take responsibility that maybe I may not have put myself here, okay? I'll give you that. Because I wasn't homeless on purpose. No. But I understood, okay, I may not put me and my kids here, but this is where I am. Where's my focus going to be now? What am I going to do about it now? And you got to understand and take responsibility that if you want something different, it's going to require something different. So if you're focusing on having less than, it's the same amount of work of focusing on having more than. You're choosing. And the S stands for stand. What are you going to stand on? Now that you know your foundation, you understand how you're operating, you understand what you're cultivating. And cultivating simply means growing and tending to, right? Now that you understand what you're growing and what you're tending to, then you need to stand on it. And not get mad at anybody else because you are standing on what you said, what you chose to focus on. So I can't get mad at a millionaire sitting here if I'm not focused on doing the millionaire work. I can't get mad at the spiritually wise sister over here if I'm not focused on doing the work. We all have the greatest that men have had. We're all, let's level the playing field. Yep, some people are born rich and they got all of these things easily at their command. Absolutely. What's your focus though? You still have the greatest that all men have had. 2 hands, 2 arms, 2 feet, a mouth, 2 eyes, 2 ears. You can still, and I think some of us get caught up in the fact that we are listening with our eyes and assuming that we are powerless. We're not understanding that our mind is closed. We can't comprehend that we are the miracle. We cannot foresee that we are both the problem and the solution, and the answer is us. All of that seems to be a mystery to us. But I'm just asking you to focus just for today, just for the minute. I dare you to focus just for right now. Not on what happened yesterday, not on the decision that you made yesterday. Focus on right now. If you could take the focus of what you're thinking about now, even if it's JoJo's crazy, if you could take the focus of why in the world am I listening to this child, take that same amount of focus and apply it to one thing in your life. One thought, one idea, and let it grow. Take that focus. Even if you can only give it for a second, allow that second to become 10, 30, or for a minute. And an amazing thing is going to happen when you turn your focus to something else. You're going to realize that you can do something else. You realize you don't have to complain. You don't have to. Because I'm a firm. Let me tell you something. If y'all know nothing about me, I can give you a sad story. That I can do. But once I understood that I am both the problem and the solution. No, I didn't tell my husband to beat me. Absolutely not. Once I left and staying in that shelter and I understood I was the problem and the solution, I started to do what I needed to do. I started to focus, build on my foundation. I looked at how I was operating. I started to cultivate what I wanted to see. I began to understand where I was at, and then I began to stand on it. Remember we talked about taking ownership of self? Where we have to wallow in it, feel yourself out, and then you get to walk it out. You got to be confident that what you're focused on is going to give you the result that you desire. Now, some of us are extremely confident that we will always be broke. Some of us are extremely confident that you will never find the love of your life. Some of us are extremely confident we will never have children. Some of us are extremely confident that we will never start a business, that we will never have a great job. Some of us are very, very focused, and we're using all of our power to the negative and not to the positive. Because y'all remember the different world? This is us. And right now your focus is here on the less instead of on the more. And you can have a different world if you simply focus on something different. Now from here to here, it's day 1. This is day whatever, 10, 100, whatever you want to say. Because we're not doing one day. We're doing one day is me sitting down here. Day 1 is me moving inch by inch to my different life. Understanding that I am powerful and not powerless. Because you're powerful, boo. You're so powerful. You are focused. You are fierce and you are focused on keeping you right where you at. You a bad man. You a bad woman. Don't let nobody tell you ain't. It takes focus and it takes work. You know how much self-talk you got to do to convince yourself of what you can't do? Do you know how much work that takes? So, sister and brother, I want you to focus today on this wonderful Tuesday. What are Tuesdays besides Taco Tuesday? Thinking Tuesday. What's another Tuesday on this wonderful Tuesday? Because it's going to be an amazing day. Quote of the day: a bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not on the branch, but in its own wings. Always believe in yourself. Focus. 5 parts to focus. What is your foundation? What are you building? What do you insist upon building every day? If you insist upon building lack, lack is going to show up. If you insist on building a different mindset is going to show up. I promise you. But it requires you doing day one. It requires day one. How are you operating? How are you operating in your focus? How are you operating in your foundation? So focus is your foundation. Let me give it to you and then we'll go back over it. Focus is foundation, operation, cultivate, understand, and stand. Those are the 5 parts of focus. So what is your foundation? What are you standing on? Are you remembering that you are powerful and not powerless? Because it takes work to remind yourself that you can't change anything. That takes a hell of a lot of work. I want you to understand. Just like it's going to take a hell of a lot of work for you to change your mind, you're exhausted keeping yourself there. You are exhausted crying. You are exhausted thinking you're not good enough. You are exhausted thinking you're never going to get out. You're exhausted thinking, how could I be so stupid to make this same decision again? You are exhausted. You beat yourself down all day. And you're using that power to build a shaky foundation. You can use that same power to build a different foundation. But it's going to take focus. You are so powerful, you've convinced yourself you're powerless. So our foundation, what are we building? How are we operating in what we're building? How am I operating? What am I saying about me? Cultivating, what am I growing, intending to? What am I watering? What am I paying attention to? Because when I was depressed, sad, suicidal, that's what I was tending to. I was growing it. I was shaping it up. I had it in a cute heart shape. I did all the things because that's what I was focused on. And I was focused on growing that thing. What are you cultivating for yourself? And do you understand why you are where you are? And even if outside forces and wild horses brought you to your current destination, wild horses and outside forces cannot keep you there if you so choose. We're not doing 1 days, we're doing day ones. If you missed yesterday's show, please go back and watch it. The quote and the thought were the same. I've learned never to close my mind to any idea simply because it's miraculous. You are the miracle that you're searching for, that you're waiting on, that you can't seem to figure out. You are it, but I need you to understand where you are on your journey. And then take responsibility for that part. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself some grace and forgiveness. Yep, that was a stupid job. Yep, that was a stupid move. Yeah, you shouldn't have did that. Forgive yourself. Give yourself some grace. And let's move forward. Some of us get caught up in that cycle, but I can't because it's hard. Hell yeah, it's hard. But guess what's harder? Sitting there beating myself upside the head. That's hard too. But you insist on doing it. So I want you to understand where you are on this journey. Understand and then take responsibility. And then I want you to stand and pay attention. Focus. Your foundation. How are you operating? What are you cultivating? What are you growing? What do you understand about your current situation? And what are you standing on? So on this wonderful Tuesday, what are you focused on today? I hope you wrote those down so you can think about it later. What are you focused on? There's 5 parts of focus. And I want you to understand that you are not common. You're not just JoJo. You're not just Tiffany. You're not just whatever your name is. You're not just anybody. You are. Remember, there's a difference between I am JoJo and who am I? There's a difference in those two statements. And we are doing confident statements. I am JoJo. Yes, I am. I am JoJo from Forest City. Yes, I am. I am JoJo that went to middle school, got bullied. I am JoJo who played football, who rode bicycles, who climbed trees, who hated dresses. I am. You're not just, you didn't just happen. Take ownership of who you are and whose you are, and know that you're not common. You're not. So if you thought you were, I'm sorry. You're not common. You are extraordinary. You are amazing. You are who you are, and no one can be that. What is your focus? Open up your mind to the possibilities that you are miraculous and you are a miracle. And when you do that, focus on it. What is your foundation? How are you operating? Because every day you're creating a habit. Every day you're creating a legacy. How are you operating inside of that? How are you creating that foundation? What are you growing and cultivating? Are you shaping your crazy? Are you cutting the grass around your crazy? Are you making your crazy look pretty so other people will assume it's not real crazy because it's so pretty? It's still crazy. Whether it's a job, person, place, thing, mama, daddy, whatever word you attach to it. Just because you paint it pretty doesn't mean that it's not, doesn't change the contents of it. Does that make sense? What do you understand about where you are? Take responsibility for that part. And then stand on your decision. So I dare you just for today. Just for a second, okay? I don't need you to think about it the whole day because that's overwhelming. When I was going through, please understand, when people gave me these, and let me tell y'all what I hated. Ooh, and y'all probably done heard this before. I hated catchphrases. Catchphrases will keep you stuck. I want you to understand. Lord, I'm having a hard time. And my friends and my girlfriends would be, Jesus be a fence. The Lord will make a way. Will he, won't he? He'll do it. Trust in the Lord. Hold on to God's. I don't want to hear none of that. That was not helping me. It was not. All of that was true, but it wasn't helping me. I needed someone to say, JoJo, step one, this is what you do. I didn't need a catchphrase. I didn't need to read a book. I didn't need to be 2,000 pages long. I needed someone to give me steps and action items of what to do. Because my crazy was so unobtainable. Like I couldn't wrap my arms around it. And it was so big that I couldn't deal with the smallness of me, right? I needed someone to say, keep going down, keep going. You're in there. Step one to get to the smallness of you is what? To be quiet. That's number one. Be still. And then there's subsets of that. So I don't need your catchphrases. I know that. I know that part. I know all the catchphrases. Give me an action item. So just for the day, just for this second, this is your action item. Because when I was overwhelmed, I couldn't handle you. When I was staying in that shelter, I couldn't understand, JoJo, get out and go get a job. I just asked a woman for underwear and a toothbrush. So you want me to go get a job when I can't even comprehend that I don't even have underwear of my own? So you want me to go, like, I can't, I need a small thing. So today, just for the day, I dare you. That's just for the second. Focus on one thing. We're not going to do the whole day because today is our day one and we celebrate all successes. For day one, just for this second, think about the possibility. Just allow yourself, and you can cuss me as you do it. JoJo, I don't want to do this, but okay, what if I did this? That's all that's required just for that second. Now, if you wish to continue that thought past second one, then you're free to. But I just want you to understand, and bring it back to the quote yesterday, to keep your mind open. I've learned never to close my mind to any idea simply because it's miraculous. I want you to be able to focus, be open-minded, be open to the more. In the process of being open to the more, it ain't day by day. For me, it was second by second. And so for 1 second, I took a deep breath. The next second, I allowed myself to think, this ain't it, JoJo. The next second is, okay, this ain't it, but what you gonna do? The next second is, I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. The next second, allow yourself the natural progression, because I want you to understand your thought and your mind. The natural progression of your mind is for greatness. The natural progression of your mind is for greatness. I need somebody to write that down before I forget it. The natural progression of your mind is for greatness. You are going against everything, every reason that you were created. You're going against everything that you ever believed, period. Whether you are Christian, whatever spirituality, the universe, the divine, the force, the light, whoever or whomever you call it, you are going against everything that is told you about yourself to convince it and yourself that you are not. The natural progression of your mind is for greatness. And it is hard work to push down greatness. It's hard work. It is hard work. So you're going to be focused on that. Because if the natural progression of my mind is for greatness, I love that. Somebody please send that to me so I don't forget. The natural progression of your mind is for greatness. And you trying to tell me I'm not great? And not even you. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm not great. Because I can't keep opening up my mind to think that I'm miraculous. So here I am smashing and pushing myself back down. And in this process, it's depression, it's sadness, it's anger, it's frustration, it's I don't know. Look, I'm stuck. Ooh, I can't move. Let me stay here. I'm nothing. You did that. Because the natural progression of your mind is for greatness. Whomever you believe, they wanted you to be great. Wherever you pray, the end result was to be great. To go seek and conquer. So what are you focused on? Are you focused on your greatness? Leave your mind open to understand that you are the miracle. Focus. What is your foundation? How are you operating? What are you cultivating? What are you growing? What are you making sure is nice and pretty? Understand. What are you understanding about yourself and taking responsibility for? And what are you standing on? Thank you, Tiffany. What are you standing on? Because right now, you could be standing on some mess. And that's okay. Because we're at day one. Because, we wiping out some things that just don't make no sense no more. One day ain't in our vocabulary. We're day one. And I don't care if you got to do day one 20 days in a row. Y'all, when I was depressed, listen, depressed, postpartum depression, right? Depressed, postpartum. I got a 3-month-old I ain't even touched because my ex didn't want me to touch her. So now I got a newborn I don't even have any motherly instincts for. I'm living with 4 of my church members. I got a 7-year-old. My family is almost 400 miles away from me. They just got me out of a shelter. The church people did. And I'm living with them. Honey, you want to talk about some depressing? You want to talk about some sadness? Boo, I got you. Those days where I did not turn on the light in the bathroom because I could not look in the mirror. Because I did not want to see what was there. Because when I looked in the mirror, I saw what somebody else said about me. And until I learned to trust myself with myself. Remember we talked about honor yourself with yourself? Until I was willing to honor myself with myself, I couldn't do that. I couldn't look in the mirror. I couldn't focus. I couldn't do any of the things I talk about today. But I had to start with day one. I had to start with day one. Boo, your day one ain't going to look like somebody else's day 10,001. It ain't. And you got to be okay that you're at day one and they're at day 10,000. All that is important is what you're focused on. And so that's why you got to take it second by second. You ain't got to take it day by day. I dare you just to take it second by second until you get used to the idea that you are the miracle, until your mind begins to accept that it can open up, because the natural progression of your mind is greatness. Until you begin to accept that. Because here's the thing, you've been pushing it down so long you don't understand. Like, you can't understand what I'm saying. You're assuming everything that I'm saying and every book that you read and anything anybody tells you, it applies to everybody but you. I have read Think and Grow Rich. I can't tell you how many times. I have listened to it. I have the quote hanging up on my bathroom wall. And every day I look at it. That don't apply to me until I learn never to close my mind to any idea simply because it was miraculous. I couldn't understand that I was going to be a millionaire because my mind was closed to it. You can't understand that if you just focus, you're going to have a different life because your mind is not open to it. Go back and watch yesterday's show. And please make sure you share it because sharing is caring. Today we're talking about focus. 5 parts. So just for the second for today, because when I was just beginning this journey, please understand it was second by second. I couldn't handle nothing else. And be okay with that. What is my foundation? How am I operating? What am I cultivating? What am I growing? Am I understanding where I am? And then I'm going to stand on it. Once I line that up, I'm about to stand on that thing. Because my focus is this. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the lack? Okay. Then that's what you're going to get. Are you focused on... if you're focused on those things, I promise you that's what you're going to get. So please make sure you wrote those down. The 5 parts of focus. Foundation. What is your foundation? What is your life statement? And if your foundation has been complaining, okay? If your foundation is, I don't understand, we being real today, day ones. What is your true foundation? Because if we're swapping it out, I got to understand it first. So focus, foundation, how we operating in it. Because if my foundation is complaining, I'm operating and complaining. What am I cultivating? My grandpa said, are you hoeing that garden? What are you cleaning out? What weeds are you allowing to grow and shaping and insisting that it's a beautiful garden when it is not? What are you cultivating? What are you growing? What are you trying to convince me that looks good when we both know it's crazy? What is your foundation? How are you operating? What are you cultivating? Understand where you are in your journey. Where are you in your journey? And understand your responsibility to that. And then what are you standing on? What are you standing on and what are you standing for? Those are the 5 parts of your focus. So just for the day, allow you a second to understand what is your focus. And it ties into yesterday's show. I've learned never to close my mind to any idea simply because it was miraculous. Yesterday's show was really good. Please go back and watch it. You are a miracle. You are miraculous. Open your mind to it. You are a millionaire. Receive that. Believe that. If you insist, the natural progression of your mind is for greatness. Yeah, I think that's the best quote I done come up with in a long time. The natural progression of your mind is for greatness. And it's hard work to push down greatness. It's hard work. That's what you don't understand why life hard? Boo, you were meant to be great, but here you are. Whatever you believe, whomever you believe in, the end result is for you to be great and amazing. But you're going against the grain of everything that you was created for, to insist that you have nothing, that you have less than. Oh, it's everybody but me. Boo, it is you. So on this wonderful Tuesday, quote of the day: a bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not on the branch but in its own wings. Always believe in yourself. Let's take it second by second. Focus. What's my foundation? How am I operating? What am I cultivating? Do I understand where I am in this journey? And what am I standing for? It's going to be an amazing Tuesday. It's going to be a good day. I'm going to just take it second by second. Open your mind up to the possibility of the thing. It's hard. It is hard work, sister, to live where you're living. It's hard work. I ain't even going to lie. It's hard. That's because you're focused on it. You're focused on, I've got to have less. You're focused on, I was never meant to live anywhere else other than right here. I was never meant to own a home. You're focused on that. What you focus on is what grows. What are you cultivating? What are you shaping up? What are you doing with it? Because the natural progression of your mind is for greatness. And it is hard work living less than. So on this wonderful Tuesday, I want you to have an amazing day. This is Thinking Tuesday. So just for the day, I want you to think about that. What if you changed your focus just for a second? Please read the 8 rules of the mind. If you don't want to read it, there's somebody out there that got the 8 bullet points of the 8 rules of the mind that will tell you how your mind truly works. Don't say, I don't know, because you do. Allow your mind to work for you, because it always wants to solve a problem for you. Your mind's job is, it loves to solve problems. Oh, you don't know how to do this? Let me help you figure it out. Give it a job to do. If you don't give your mind a job to do, guess what will happen? Your daily habits will kill your free thinking. Your daily habits will kill your free thinking. It's taking it all away. If you don't give your mind a job to do, a problem to solve, something to work out, because that's what it wants to do, then you start being habits. And your daily habits are stealing your free will to think. And I'm going to tell you this example because it's nerd and I can't help it. If you've been with the morning show 2 years, I know you've not heard this story before. I apologize in advance. Your habits are stealing your free will to think. That's how you drive home and you don't know how you got there. Because your mind didn't need you to participate in your life. Because your mind loves to find quick ways to make your life easier. Because when it wants to keep you safe until it wants to solve your problems and it wants to make you work efficiently. That's what your mind wants to do. So every day for 30 years, this is how we're going to go to work. By week 2, your mind has picked up your habit and says, oh, this is the way. Every day at this time, this is what we're going to do. So, Jojo, you can check out. We don't even need you for this part. That's how you can get to work and not know. That's how you can get home and not remember now part of that drive. That's how you can cook the same meal and not remember what you put in there. I don't know how I always cooked it. I don't know. And the minute you start to introduce free thinking into your daily habit, your mind is going to get angry. And this is why you got to take it second by second, because if you do a whole day, you're going to be overwhelmed. Because the minute you start to say, oh, but wait a minute, you know what? JoJo said if I could just open up my mind, let me be open-minded and let me think a different thought. Your brain is going to say, but no. That's not what you do. Because every day at 10 o'clock, you complain about this. Or at midnight, you cuss your man. And at 2 a.m., you smoke this and you drink that and you do this. And your brain is like, excuse me. I've set up habits for you, JoJo, and I've got you running efficiently, whether it's complaining, whether it's convinced that you don't have, whether it's whatever it is, I got you running efficiently. You not fixing to introduce a new thought in here and not think you're getting to fight me. You're fighting the old you with the new you. Your mind is powerful. Keep playing and assuming that you don't have any power. I want you to understand, your mind is an amazing thing. It is. Understand how powerful you are with your thoughts and your thought process. That's why when you start on this journey, your day 1 may be day 37 at day 1. Because you're breaking that habit out of your mind. And you're fighting the old you with the new you. That's why you got to give yourself some grace and some peace in there. That's why you got to focus. That's why you got to apply something as you're fighting that out. You got to have some kind of structure to it. And that's what your Sister's Keeper is for. That's what the Live Past Crazy Specialist is for. Y'all, I love neuroscience. I love I have tons of books on how the brain works, because your brain is amazingly powerful. You just assume that it's not. You assume that you're not smart. You're so smart, you convinced yourself that you are not. And that's how your brain is living. You are a millionaire. You are the next whoever. You are so powerful, you convinced yourself that you are not. So if you could just allow for a second, I dare you just for a second, and cuss me in that second if you want. JoJo stupid as hell. She think I don't care. You can give it to me, I'll take it. If the result is going to be that you're going to open your mind just for a second. And all that is required is for that light to come in just for a second. I promise. So on this wonderful Tuesday, I got to get out of here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining the Fearless Morning Show. I greatly appreciate you. This is your first time joining. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. My name is Yamitra JoJo White, the only Live Past Crazy Specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? You want to learn more about me? Go to livepastcrazy.com. We do have jewelry over there. We do have Sisters Keepers t-shirts. I'm working on some classes coming up in October. It's the Sisters Rise Retreat. Okay? Sisters Rise. We are revitalizing individuals to understand that sacred energy. What it means to be you and your thought process and how powerful you truly are. I'm only doing 12 women. So please make sure it's bit.ly/Sister Rise, because I want it to be an intimate thing. Okay? So on this wonderful Tuesday, the natural progression of your mind is for greatness. Y'all, that's about the best quote I done had in a minute. I like that. Quote of the day: a bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking, because its trust in its own wings, not the branch. Believe in yourself. In the day's Fearless Thought was focused. What is your foundation? How are you operating? What are you cultivating? Do you understand where you are? And now stand. So I hope you have an amazing Tuesday. I want you to be peaceful, period, because there's nothing after that. And I will see you guys bright and early. Please make sure you share the show, because sharing is caring. I cannot do this by myself. So every time you share the show, please tag me, so at least I can say thank you, because I don't know that you share if you don't tag me in it. So please tag me in it so I know that you shared. And if you've ever shared the Fearless Morning Show before, thank you. I greatly appreciate you guys so much coming here and hanging out with me every day. So I hope you have an amazing Tuesday. And I'll see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.